Yes guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Cameron. I'm currently a firefighter here in the UK, if you haven't seen my videos already. I've been a firefighter now for coming up to 2 years, and I have been through exactly what you're going through, probably watching this video, the recruitment process, kind of the first stage of becoming a firefighter, how to become a firefighter. And I make these videos online to kind of help you guys. So when I talk to the camera now, I'm almost talking to my younger self, as when I was applying 2 years or 3 years ago now, there wasn't a lot of information online, so hence why I'm making these videos, because I know there's a lot of people who are in the same boat that I was in previously. I hope you're enjoying all the videos so far. If you do, then please smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel, as we hit 500 subscribers the other day, which was actually crazy. To think I only really started making these videos in January, so what, January, February, March, April, it's been 4 months and we've already grown to 500 subscribers, which I think is really, really good. I'm literally waking up to 2 or 3 messages per day from different people where they're saying like, thank you for doing the videos, they appreciate the content I'm doing, and that kind of stuff is what motivates me to keep going. As I don't obviously get paid to do any of this is in my free time now. So I put together these videos to give you guys the best chance of becoming a firefighter. These are not videos that I had when I was in your position, so I think you should be very grateful that kind of you getting to watch these videos, I think. As you can see from the title of the video, we're going to be talking about if you are too old or too young to be a firefighter. And like I just mentioned, some of the messages I get, people do actually say to me, I feel like I'm too old to join, or some people say I feel like I'm too young. Like there's a comment I had on my video not long ago was a guy saying he thinks that the fire service are only really employing kind of older people, and he always thinks how on earth is he going to get a chance because he's only 19. And that is why you clicked on this video, because I'm going to stop these limiting beliefs and kind of give you guys a realistic and a real insight to whether age does matter or doesn't matter. So let's talk about limiting beliefs. So you're sitting there now and your limiting belief is that you think that for some reason, because of your age, you can't get into a job. Now I know the minimum age to apply is 18, I think across the board, up and down the country. Correct me if I'm wrong. So obviously in that aspect, you do need to be 18 or over to apply to be a firefighter. And I think a lot of the limiting beliefs of the people that are applying that think they're too old. So maybe, for example, they're in their 40s or even their early 50s, and they're thinking, God, like I'm 40 odd now, like should I really be applying for this job? Now obviously I'm not 40, so I can't give you how I felt in that situation, if that makes sense, because when I applied I was 20 years old, and I started when I was 21. And I don't know what it is. Do you guys think that if you're above 40, you think that you might not be as physically fit to do the kind of tasks that we do? Is it you believe that, I don't know, you may be too late and you might not learn quick enough, and before you know it you've got to leave or retire? I'll never know the kind of true limiting beliefs that you guys have, but what I want to do say is, from my experience and on my training course, age really did not matter at all. In fact, I found a study that in 2022 the average firefighter was 41 years old. So that's like across the board in the UK, the average firefighter was 41. And also, to not discourage you guys that are older anymore, when I was on my training course, the majority of the people were above 30. Some people were, I think the oldest person there, I want to say was 45 or 46. And he or she, can't remember which one was 46, but they passed, they got through. Now obviously if you're this age and you know you aren't physically fit, then that's still okay, you can work on your fitness, that's something that you can still work on. Obviously if you've neglected your fitness for the last 20 or 30 years, it's going to be a lot harder for you. But if you don't know already, I've actually made a video on how I train like a firefighter, and I've made an exercise plan. I'll link the video here where I talk about the exercises I go through, and the actual plan that I've made, which can get sent directly to your email, is going to be in the description. Now this plan is completely free. You guys that are watching this probably already have downloaded it. I've had hundreds of people download it already. I've had some great feedback. A lot of people are buying the weighted vest, which I recommend, which is brilliant to see as well. So if you are genuinely concerned about your fitness, watch my videos and also download the plan and just start working on it. And the thing is, you never know whether you're going to be fit enough unless you go for it and apply. So if fitness is your worry and you're above 40, for example, then just go for it. Like, what's the worst that can happen? You can fail. Like, I failed 3 times. No, sorry, I failed twice and got in on my 3rd time. I didn't fail due to fitness, but maybe you're more academic than me, so you'll pass the academic and you may struggle with the fitness, whereas I struggled with the academic side, the online tests, for example, and passed the fitness fine. So one last thing, if you do think that you're old enough, get that thought out of your head. Honestly, like, the majority of the firefighters that I work with are a lot older than me, so just get that thought completely out of your head. So next we're going to talk about the younger guys, the people that are kind of my age when I was applying, maybe even younger than me. All I'm going to say is, if you're older than 23, 24 and you think you're too young, then just stop watching this video because that is just ridiculous. This is focused on the guys that are 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Of course you can't apply until you're 18, sorry, but you can still prepare when you're 16, 17 for when you can apply, which is what a lot of people are doing. I'm getting loads of messages from guys that are 15, 16 and they're following my videos and they're saying they want to get in the best position they can possible, which I do highly recommend. So my videos are kind of really helpful to them and they actually take notes on them and kind of remember things. And when I tell you to remember something, make sure you jot it down so you don't just watch the video and it go in one ear and come out the other ear. Now the limiting beliefs of the younger guys then, so they're probably sitting there as well, because to be fair, I can kind of relate to this because I was very young when I first applied. As I say, I think I was 19, 20. It was during COVID, so yeah, I was very young. And I did have the same belief as you guys. I did think like, everyone's like older in the fire service, like where's the people my age, like do they let people in my age? So I can relate to you guys a lot more because I've been in your position and I know how it feels. Now one thing I do want to mention, which is quite important to this, is that the fire service, my brigade anyway, I don't know when they did it, but they stopped recruiting for 10 years. Like deep that 10 years of not recruiting anybody. Doesn't mean the people in the job are staying the same age. Like the people that were 25 are now 35, so it just brings the average age like right up. So if you think about it, if you don't recruit for 10 years, then everyone in the job is going to feel older because I haven't had any, younger people in for 10 years. But what I will say is that on my course, there was people younger than me. There was somebody that was 18, 19. A lot of people will say in their 20s, some people a bit older in their 30s and 40s, but the majority I'd say were from 25 to 30. But that being said, I was only 20, 21, so I was in the younger bracket, and there's probably 3 or 4 of us out of 20, so still believe that there's chance that just because you're younger doesn't mean that you can't get in. If anything, you're watching these videos and you're younger, you've got more of an advantage because there's a lot of people out there. Sorry if you can hear the motorbike. Wait till it goes. But yeah, there's a lot of people out there that are in your position that feel like they're young enough but they haven't come across my videos yet. So your edge is that you've come across this, and I'm telling you from real life experience that being young isn't anything to worry about. I know when I was in that position I felt like I was, a lot more inexperienced in terms of life, because when I got into training school and I was speaking to people that were a lot older than me, they'd obviously been through, some of them had careers for 10 years and then they've just quit to join the fire service. Whereas I hadn't really had a career as such, this was my first one. So that kind of balance and variety in people is very different. Like it's mad to think that someone has worked in another job for like maybe 15 years, who's been, I don't know, a security guard for 15 years, and he's just starting their career at the same point as you, and you've literally left school 3 years ago. Like that, when you think about it, that's actually crazy. So if anything, you are technically, ahead of these people because you've got 15 years on them, do you know what I mean? So yeah, look at it from like the positive aspect. What I do know is that a lot of people now in the fire service are retiring, I think because of like the new pension schemes. I don't know too much about the pensions, but I believe there's a new pension scheme, so everyone's on the old pension scheme and it's all confusing for me. But I know a lot of firefighters now are retiring. So just to conclude on all this now, for you guys that are younger, for you guys that are older, do not worry about it. It's really not that deep. You're probably overthinking it, to be fair. I'd be more concerned if I was in your position whether you think that you're kind of able to do the job physically, especially. For example, don't think like you've got someone here that's really unfit and not willing to put in the work to get their fitness up, but they're just blaming it on the fact that they're 42 years old. So they're not going to let me in because I'm 42 years old. No, do the work, apply, kind of put the hours in, watch my videos, take my advice, do the best you can, and that's all you can do, and that's all literally anyone can do. And on the flip side, same for the younger guys, if you are 16, 17 and you're not in the shape and you don't feel like you're fit enough and you think, I'm not going to be able to get in when I'm 18 because I'm too young. No, same applies to you. Do the work. As I said earlier, you could be in the job for 15 years, you could be in another job for 15 years and then apply to be a firefighter and be at the same position that someone else is. So don't think that like it's ever too early or too late to become a firefighter. But yeah guys, thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, I do really appreciate it. As I said previously, to join my newsletter and to download the free plan, the link is in the description. All my other links are in the description. If you want to buy the weighted vest, that's also in the description. If you have any questions or experiences, if you're someone that's been through the process and maybe you join later on in the fire service, 30, 40, if you've got your experience, just drop it down in the comments. I'm sure a lot of people will read it. You never know who you might actually help. But yeah, if you've got any questions for me, same again, drop them in the comments or text me on Instagram. I'll reply on both of them. As I said, thank you for watching everyone, and I'll see you on the next one.